Put me back here? There's nothing closer? You gotta be fucking shitting me, bruh. I guess I'll go back to where I was already going. There is a way to go right here as well, though.
Ooh.
Oh. Why does lava make me fat roll?
Lava in Elden Ring
What
was.
the? Watch these platforms.
He missed me.
Ready? Oh shit, I'm scared. That again. Whatever, dude. Whatever.
Wait, do it?
Wait. Wait, is that all? Okay, yeah, this is where my internet crashed. Fuck. Fuck. Okay. I'm just gonna go back here. I'm not gonna do it again. It's fine. Alright. Don't work. Dark Souls is because I don't have to move my thumb from these buttons. I can just have 3 buttons here, so I can use my ring finger for run, and then also control the camera. Y'all just don't get it. Y'all don't understand that this is real efficiency. Dragons have swords! R1 and R2? Okay, but when I'm fighting something, then I use normal grip. But when I'm just running around, I can be lazy. Holy shit! gonna dodge that slam move once. What the fuck? Nightmares of when I had to swim through the lava on my hardcore WoW character.
I don't know, the radars.
I told her today, I was like, if I have one more situation, I'm gonna begin a villain arc. I am one controversy away from a villain arc. The artist comment? Yeah, like, I didn't even think that was a big deal, right? I mean, I didn't. I thought everybody knew that. I did. I thought everybody knew that what I was saying was true. Apparently not. Right? Like, because, so anyway, so there's a tweet of a tweet of tweet. Yeah, I gotta go back, right? And so this dude goes and posts a tweet about me. It says actual branded. And so let me go back, look at this. So unbox people. So this dude is not happy. Let me see if I can find where he went and said this. And so for the record, Power World versus Pokemon discussion. But I know something is wrong. Play whatever you want to play, but don't disrespect the artist. Says to be sure. So anyway, this dude is obviously. He tweeted that he called me the N-word and he said I was stupid, but I guess he must have deleted that one. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, so this is a big situation today, right? A big situation with a lot of people mad. Like, we're talking about 19.7 million views on this fucking tweet. Like, we're talking about 5 million views on this one. Like, almost 20 million people in the last 24 hours, less than that, have seen this fucking post. This shit has blown up. A lot of people are watching it. And there's a lot of people that have messaged me. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry so many people are angry at you. What the fuck? Pokemon discussion. If I know something is wrong, play whatever you want to play, but don't disrespect the artist. So anyway, this dude is obviously, he tweeted that he called me the N-word and he said I was stupid, but I guess he must have deleted that one. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, so this is a big situation today, right? A big situation with a lot of people mad. Like, we're talking about 19.7 million views on this fucking tweet. Like, we're talking about 5 million views on this one. Like, almost 20 million people in the last 24 hours, less than that, have seen this fucking post. This shit has blown up. A lot of people are watching it. And there's a lot of people that have messaged me that are like, oh, I'm so sorry so many people are angry at you. What the fuck? What? Guys, of course nobody likes for people to tell them that they're wrong. But this doesn't fucking matter.
It's a fucking tweet. Who cares? Chill out. Everything's fucking fine. Yeah, I got food. I went to Shake Shack. It was really nice. Spent some time with my dad. Like, this is not like guys. I don't need to be protected. I don't need to. Everything's fine. Okay, I'm good. So we're gonna watch this first, and also like I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I said this on a public platform. Now this dipshit did cut it a little bit out of context, but that's what people do. That's what happened. Fuck. I mean that's the way it is. And so, anyway, people are gonna talk about it. Like I wouldn't have said it. I didn't want people to hear it. So let's go ahead. We're gonna watch the clip. We're gonna watch the clip. Cut things out of context. It's not that much out of context. It's a little bit. It makes it sound more aggro than it was. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a bit different. Damn the quality. Yeah. This is a 2016 webcam quality. All right, here we go. All right, so to expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference substantial. I was talking about the difference between procedural generation and AI generation, like generative AI. I feel like they both functionally do the same thing, and I don't see there being a large moral difference between the two things. That's what I was talking about. And I also talked about it in the context of people copying. So, like, for example, like, you saw, like, the parallels between, like, the Pokemon and the Dragon Quest and, you know, Pokemon and Digimon. Like, I don't view there to be, like, a large moral difference between an artist using other art as inspiration or to basically create something that's another version of what the original artist made. I don't view that as a tremendously morally different thing versus generative AI creating an aggregate of art by using a million pictures. I don't feel like these are that different. And I haven't read an argument that makes me believe that I'm wrong. I'm open to reading one, but I haven't found it yet. Original art versus inspirational art? I don't care about that because I don't believe original art generally exists. I think that almost all art is built off of other art. And that doesn't take away from it. It builds on it. It makes it more special. It makes it better. Maybe not better, but sometimes it adds texture to it. All art is derivative, yes, and I don't think that's not a bad thing. Anyway, so that's what I was talking about in the clip. We'll keep going. Do you guys? No. Right, no. And that's really what matters. I don't think a lot of people do. And the truth is that I don't think that society at large sees a large difference. The reason why I don't think that people see a large difference is that I've never seen a large-scale consumer shift to where consumers are purchasing something that is more inconvenient or more expensive because of the way that it's produced. Now, some people do this. I'm not arguing that nobody does this. But the biggest companies in the world are oftentimes the most immoral ones. And I think that there's a reason for that. It's because people don't really care where their products come from. Like, nobody really cares about Amazon workers pissing in bottles. You care about it, but would you want to pay twice as much for Amazon Prime to fix it? No, probably not. And the same thing's true with phone batteries. The same thing is true with electronic car batteries. The same thing is true with clothes. And everybody just forgoes morality to participate in these things.
My God.
And I do not believe this is you criticize society, but yet you exist in society. How interesting, right? That meme? I don't think that it's like that. And also, I think that that's very valid. That's an extremely valid thing to say. If you want to hold other people to a standard, you should expect other people to hold you to that standard that you are trying to hold them to. Why does everybody else have to carry your flag? And so that's my point. And so I don't think that consumers really care about this in a general sense. Are there consumers that care about this? Of course. Is there a market for them? Of course. Is it infinitesimally smaller than the market for consumers that just want to consume the cheapest, best thing?
I never.
Of course.
It's fucking.
It was made with AI. I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence
It
is
doesn't
that
matter. Nobody really
the
cares about
lead
this.
developer has been very positive about AI in the past and made an AI game.
We're gonna play
called
this, by the way.
AI Art
One with
Imposter.
the-
That lets
Yeah.
an AI artist draw a picture.
Yeah.
And so that was like one of the
Yeah,
games.
we're gonna be playing
and
this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than.
Yeah, basically, people accuse the CEO of the company that made Pow World of using AI to make Pow World because he liked AI. So they basically just made up an accusation and are just running with it. And I heard recently that the person who originally made the accusation has apologized.
Than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and I guess general Twitter population, which is that AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists. This is the part that's going to make people mad. Opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Yes. Like, it doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares. Like, it's not relevant. It's like whenever one of these, like, really well-respected and really respectable directors talks about how bad Marvel is. Shut up, old man. Shut up. I like watching the Thor movie. It was cool. So people really didn't like that clip. And I want to say really quickly that I stand behind what I said 100%. And I'm right. And the emotional outbursts of man-children on Twitter over the next day or two will subside, logic will prevail, reason will wiggle its way in, and people will see the truth of what I said. And the best thing about it is that I can prove it. And that's the good thing about the truth, is that I don't have to bully people off. Like, I can read arguments from people that disagree with me, and I can prove them wrong. These people can't prove me wrong. They can post a picture of my room and say my room is dirty and so I'm wrong. Sure, you can do that, but I'm still right. You can say I'm a loser, you can say I'm ugly, you can say I fell off, you can say anything that you want. But that doesn't change the truth. And that's the best thing about it, is that it doesn't matter how mad you get, it still doesn't matter, it still doesn't change anything. And so I want to talk a little bit about what I said again, and I'm going to go through it. Is that T1, Michaela? I guess it is. Let me go back up. I'm going to read this real quick. The people that are buying the product. That's like, right. It doesn't, like, your opinion on it, like, just because you do it doesn't, like, nobody cares. That's right. And I want to extrapolate this. So almost all art has relatively no intrinsic value. Like, if you're at a, if you are stranded on an island, would you rather have a cooler full of food, or would you rather have a the Mona Lisa? And I think that that's what makes art special, is the fact that it has value, but the value is not intrinsic. Like, a hammer has value. You can use a hammer to accomplish a goal. A nail has value. You can use a nail to hold something in place. And so in general, and this isn't true all the time, okay? But I'm making a general statement that's not always true, okay? So just please hold your acceptance. Please, I know you have an exception that you want to put out there and try to pretend like you're smart. I know you have an exception. I do too. But I'm talking about in a general sense. Art does not have a functional value. A Picasso painting is not going to do anything. But it will have value to some people. And that value is subjective. And the fact that the value is subjective proves my point. And I can give you another example of people that are making art that nobody cares about. Now, you can scroll down on this tweet, and most of the people that are being very angry are people that are making art that nobody cares about. Or you can go over to Twitch, and you can go down to, let's go down to, I don't know, World of Warcraft, and let's scroll all the way down. And you're gonna find people that have 1, 2, 0 viewers, and they're streaming the same as everybody else is. But nobody cares about them, and it doesn't really matter that they're streaming. There's no value to this stream. They're not gonna make any money. Now, maybe they will in the future, but whenever they do in the future, the reason for that will be because people see value in them. That's because the artist is empowered by the people that consume their content. And it doesn't matter if it's a picture, it doesn't matter if it's a video, a stream, or anything. These things have value because other people say they do. Art is fundamentally subjective. That's, I think, that if you think it's art, it's art. That's where it comes from. The reason why that's true is the same essence of the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. So whenever I say an artist's opinion doesn't matter on their art, it's because whenever an artist says this is worth $50 to me and somebody else says no, it's not, the artist can still try to charge $50 for it, but nobody has to buy it because that value is decided by the customer. That's the way it works, is whenever you go to market with a product, you have to meet the customer's demand. And it doesn't matter about what you think the world should be. It doesn't matter about how you view ethics in art. It doesn't matter about how you think trade should be. It doesn't matter about whether you're a capitalist or not. None of these things matter. The only thing fundamentally that matters is if what you are doing is perceived to have value in the eyes of the public. And not the public, excuse me, in the eyes of the person you're selling it to. And the truth of that is proven every single day. It's proven every single day whenever somebody makes a video game and nobody buys it. It's proven whenever Riot shuts down Riot Forge because nobody bought the games. Do you want to know why a lot of those people got fired? It's because of you, it's because of you, and it's because of me. And the reason why is because we didn't buy and support those games because we didn't care about them. And because we didn't care about them, they didn't make any money, and they got fucking fired. And that's the way the world works. Now, I understand that there's a lot of people that are angry because I'm saying this. Don't shoot the messenger. Or do. That's fine. But the reality is that I'm still not wrong. And this reality will be proven every single second of every day until the end of time. And so I don't want to sit down and this is why it doesn't bother me that a lot of people are unhappy about this, because I know the truth of what I'm saying, and everybody else will sooner or later, whether they want to or not. And I'd like to go and show some of the other the posts that people have made, respond to some of the criticism, and look at what people are saying. Not wrong is not always 100% correct. The angle you attack it from might change the truth. I have to say too that I thought a lot today about is the position and the approach that I take to communicating so aggro that it ends up actually like hurting my goals. Like, am I being too much of an asshole? Is it basically, am I like, because a lot of people say you're right but I hate you, right, basically. And so it's like, is this an effective tool for me? Like, am I communicating in the most effective way? And I don't know the answer to that yet. I'm not sure, but I think about that. I don't think that I'm wrong in what I said, but maybe if I said it in a different way, more people would have resonated with more people. But in another way, I'm saying it, and now a lot of people are mad, and more people are addressing it. So I don't think that it's really like a I'm right and they're wrong or whatever. But I think about this because what do I fundamentally do? I fundamentally what I do. And so I think about is my mode of communication actually becoming counterproductive? I don't think so, but I do think about it. Effective, entertaining. I think that it depends on what your goals are. So yeah, the tone does matter. It does matter. And so I think to myself, am I harming my goals by not approaching it in a way that's effective? Because like again, I don't really care about the way that I say it. I care about communicating the idea. And so if I'm communicating an idea that's very aggro and it's causing people to not agree with me or not like me because of that, am I in the wrong?
Shit.
Maybe not factually, but it's not about the facts at that point. And so I think about the effect of what I'm saying. And I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about. I'll be thinking about that a lot. So anyway, I do want to throw those people a little bit of a bone because, of course, I think about stuff like that. Anyway, probably depends on what your goals are. Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, there were a lot of people that obviously retweeted this. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go through. I liked a lot of the posts. I'm going to just look at all of them here.
Are you shitting me?
And so I guess we'll start at the bottom. Okay.
Oh, God.
I think that should be everything. Okay, good. Hey, you, JK, I love you. Yeah, no, it's okay. As an artist, most artists practice AI. They don't directly rip, and neither did Pow World. Well, that's for Nintendo to decide, and they can figure that out in court. I personally think that Pow World probably did rip off things from Nintendo directly. I do think so, and I'm gonna keep playing the game. That doesn't affect my opinion of the game, but I do think that I think that they did it. From what I've seen, like I don't know, it's too close, man. Like especially like the models, like it's too close. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but like I'm not the lawyer. I don't need to be like 100% fucking. Right about this, or this isn't a legal argument. I'm just saying, like, this is my vibe check as a person who makes YouTube videos. Okay, like this is a vibe check. So anyway, yeah, trick shot. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I saw that. And anyway, so we'll go ahead and we're gonna look at this here. And if you're looking at this from a strictly capitalistic viewpoint, you're not wrong. Now, this is probably the most popular response to the tweet that I made. And I'm going to go ahead and read what this person said. If you're treating viewers from a capitalist perspective, you're not wrong. I think many, including myself, would argue that we have a good moral obligation to look after the ones making said products. If we never care about the artist, the art stops and nobody wins. And I respond back to this. I say, if many such as yourself care about the moral obligation, why is it the biggest companies are often the most immoral? And my point is that there are oftentimes people that think that because they get 6,000 likes or 12,000 likes or 40,000 likes on Twitter, then somehow this means that this is what most people think. It's not. I think that it's great to look at sentiment, but sentiment is never better than data. And the data says that it's not true. Of games like Pow World.
How did I know?
Give me a second. I'm pulling this up.
Kurze Pause. Können Blues das Spiel noch drehen? Das sieht schon mal gut aus. Weiter geht's. Blues sind wie ausgewechselt. Er fliegt und fliegt und es sieht so leicht aus. Knoppersnussriegel. Der Riegel auf Knoppersart.
Of games like Pow World hitting 2 million concurrent players. That's right. So that's the facts. And so 1 million right now, yes, and that's the reality. Now, 6,000 people liking a tweet doesn't really matter. And if we didn't have this data, then we'd be having a debate. But we don't need to have a debate because the data proves the truth. And it will prove it over and over and over again. Just like it did with sweatshops, just like it did with lithium batteries, and just like it's doing right now with AI. And in the future, it will be something that we can't even imagine that will be doing the same thing. And so I believe somebody's often with moral because we live under capitalism, money is greater than morals. This person believes that bad systems and abuse was invented by capitalism. This is not true. So let me go ahead and give you an example. So before capitalism, we had monarchies and we had things like that. What do you think would happen if an artist painted a picture of the king who made the king look fat? Well, then they'd just be dead. And that's the way that it works. There's never been a better system for people to express themselves than Western capitalistic culture. This is the greatest mode of expression that we've ever had in the history of humanity. Does that mean that we can't do better? No, it doesn't. But I am not going to look at any other system that's been tried in the past and say that let's go back to that. Absolutely not. It's actually true. It's caricatural view of history. Plenty of caricatures existed in the newspaper during French monarchy, even during Louis the 14th. I'm sure that there are exceptions. But do you really want to make the argument that inside of a monarchy, people have more autonomy to be able to control their own wealth? What kind of argument are you making? Do you really think that the king and the people that were running France at the time were moral? Do you think that they were good people? Do you think that they treated artists and people that were involved with them in a good way? No. These people were brutal animals, the same as everybody else was. Yeah, they wouldn't have had the revolution if that wasn't the case. You're mistaken if you think capitalism didn't exist within a monarchy. Well, at a certain point, you get to the, like, what do you mean by capitalism? Do you mean the ownership of private property? Do you mean a free market? What do you mean by capitalism? I think you should define your idea more clearly, and then we can talk about it. But anyway, so yeah. Basically, somebody says money over morals. This is true everywhere. Like, if you go to countries right now that aren't capitalistic, like North Korea, do you think North Korea is prioritizing morals? No, I don't think they are. It's such an insane thing to say. I can't imagine that people believe this. Dude, how are you gonna pick North Korea? Because it's the worst example. And it is the example that is the like, for example, like China is capitalistic in a lot of ways now, right? So like, can I really use China? I don't think I can. And also China exists within a global market, which is also capitalistic. So that's why I chose not to use China or a Middle Eastern country. I used North Korea for a specific reason. So yeah. And try Cuba. I don't know enough about Cuba to use that as an example, to be honest with you. So, I'll give you a response below that. I need to break it to you. Communism isn't some moralistic paradise. Simply study history. Communism is different in every country, but yeah, it isn't a moralistic paradise, but it's better than capitalism. Communism is better than capitalism. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I really don't think so. He was blocked by the US? Yeah, exactly. And so that's why, like, it's very hard to say, like, what Cuba's economy is or isn't. Yeah, this is insane. Like, I think that at the point where a person makes an argument that communism is better than capitalism, like, is it okay to just disregard everything they're saying? Because I would say I think that it kind of is. Yeah, like, that's okay. Now we'll go ahead and move on. So yeah. And anyway, Stalin killed more than anyone. Well, the reality of it is that Stalin killed more people than anyone, not because of capitalism or communism. He did it because he's a terrible person. And terrible people and terrible actions occur outside Mao. Yeah, Mao did the same thing. He's also a terrible person. So, of course that's the case. Absolutely. But, like, I don't think that them doing that, like, countries will do that. I guarantee you countries have done that weren't communist. There have been so many genocides over the course of history that communism does not have a monopoly on genocides. Everybody's had their turn to have a little bit of genocide. Let's be real. So anyway, now on that scale, you're right. Yeah, those were two of the biggest ones. But sure. So yeah, anyway, that's what one person said. And that's the point. And again, right? And I find this to be kind of ironic because even whenever this person... We are under capitalism. So if I make an argument that under capitalism, money is greater than morals, and then this person is arguing against me, well, he says you're not wrong. Well, I'm not wrong. Okay, well, then there we go. I'm not really in the business anymore of trying to change reality. I don't want to change the world. Well, I do in a way, but I think that in order to change the world, you have to acknowledge what it is. And I think that so many people have intellectualized reality, they're not even a part of it anymore. They've done this so much. There's so many levels of abstraction away from just the simple truths of reality that they don't even live in the same world that you do. And that's the problem. Now, I'm not talking about whether something is good or bad. What I enjoy doing is being able to see what is and then be able to predict what will happen because of that and how things will go. I enjoy that. I like that. That's what I like to do. People living in their own little echo chambers. Oh, that's always the case, right? So, there are no genocides since 1945, though. Really? That's crazy. I didn't know that. It's not a dichotomy and you're arguing against something nobody suggested. Give me 1 second. Is this somebody who's arguing? What is this? Wait, no, they didn't bring up communism. Well, I don't know. I think that if you're suggesting that capitalism is bad, it would imply that you're bringing up other modes of... like other economic systems, right? Now, you're right that the person put words in their mouth. Yeah, the person puts words in their mouth. Yeah, they never mentioned communism. You're correct about that. First, opposing alternative capitalism, all they're saying is pure capitalistic priorities, prioritizes money over morals. Sure, yeah. And it's not the economy you're arguing against, so nobody suggested that. Yeah, sure. But what I am saying is that pure capitalism is not also a good thing either. I don't think anybody thinks that pure capitalism is good. And of course we don't think that. That's why we have socialist systems like Social Security. Nobody thinks this. A lot of people do. Well, a lot of people don't think about it in the first place, so it's not really worth taking that into consideration. So yeah, not bad chatter. No, this is not. There's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, but no, he's definitely right that nobody brought that up. Somebody put words in his mouth. So yeah. And somebody else said this, and artists' opinions don't matter. What matters is the opinion of people buying the product. And this is another person who was unhappy about what I said. And this is, of course, somebody who is an illustrator. They make art. And they sell commissions. People like their art. The fact that they exist proves my point. You are selling commissions because the free market allows that to happen because people see value in your work. You wouldn't be able to sell commissions if people didn't like it. That's the way it works. But isn't your argument about allowing theft of art? And an example of something that should arguably be prevented using controls on capitalism. As I said before, I don't really believe using generative AI is theft. I don't really think so. Now, if you're using generative AI to recreate something, like, you know, for example, like you're trying to make the exact same thing and pass it off as if it was the original, then yeah, sure, that's theft, of course. But I'm talking about, like, if you use a tool like, I don't know, Stable Diffusion or something like that, and that tool generates an image, I don't think that that image is theft from other images. And if you think that it is theft, then I think that there is not a tremendous moral difference between somebody using other art as inspiration, as everybody does, and somebody using an aggregate tool that puts together pixels that makes a picture. I don't view these as a tremendously morally different thing. I don't. And I have not read an argument so far that convinces me that I'm wrong. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand it. And also, we'll go even farther. The use of AI is not necessarily theft. Even if you believe that AI being trained by other tools is actually, sorry, by other pictures that you don't own, is theft. Because there are plenty of people, and I'll give you two different examples, Amarath and Susu, who do OnlyFans content, who have an AI bot that can generate nudes of them for people that try to talk to them. Is that theft? Well, no, because they trained the bot with their own content. So whenever you're saying AI and generative AI, you're painting with such a wide brush that you're also including things that don't necessarily fall into that category. Not every single AI tool that's ever existed has been trained with things that are not that thing. Paying for fake nudes is wild. Wrong, those models stole images. How do you know how, you don't know how the tech works? How did they steal images? How? Okay, that's a good attempt. Yeah, I appreciate the hustle. Sure. Let's see here. No internal monologue. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so AI is bringing us into the future. Oh, absolutely. Using copyrighted imagery to change their data without compensation. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Is that if somebody uses AI fully with images that they own the copyright to, there's never any possibility of theft. Or sorry, there's not the same issue of theft. So I think that whenever you're talking about AI, whenever you talk about it, there's like three different assumptions that are made. And that's the difference. It's trained on artists who did not consent to having their work being used by their algorithm and then being replaced by it. Well, can you explain to me what the difference is between that and another person who is a better artist than the original artist, who is making art based off of that original artist's art? Can you explain the difference to me? Because like I don't see it. Okay. No spam, but AI had to learn to remove watermarks, and that's blatant theft. AI had to learn to remove watermarks, and that's blatant theft. And I want to also kind of like, okay, sure, yeah, sure. Nobody cares though, right? Because if somebody found out that somebody used AI, it's not going to decrease their enjoyment about it. Just because you say something is stolen doesn't mean that everybody else in the world has to care about it. I understand what you're saying, but you still have to have other people care about it in order for it to be true. And so you've made a judgment, oh, this is stolen. Let me give you an example. like, not we. I'm living on stolen land. The Native Americans had this, and then we came over here and killed them. And now it's our land. Well, we're not going to be giving that back. And at the end of the day, nobody gives it. It doesn't act, like, there is no function that information will create. That will not change anything. Everybody knows it's true, and nobody cares. And if you think that you do, go give your house away to a Native American family. And leave the fucking country. But nobody's going to do that. Because you don't really care. You only care enough to present yourself as if you are sympathetic to the situation while simultaneously benefiting from its existence. That's just the way that it is. Is stealing okay if you don't sell it? It depends. So people are targeting specific artists and using their names as actual prompt phrases to create the art. AI just meshes a bunch of pieces together. It's not creating anything new. A human being can also create art in pure creative individuality. An AI algorithm cannot exist without thousands of artists or traits. Yeah, you're right. I'm not sure if I understand what your point is. There are always going to be people that are trying to define what art and what art is and what art is not. Excuse me. Nobody has a monopoly on telling anybody else what art is. It doesn't matter what you believe art is, because, like, for example, I've seen a lot of modern art, and modern art looks like my room. It looks like the garbage on my table. But somebody else doesn't think that. And I'll go back to the example that I used before of Jackson Pollock. It took me a long time to understand the value, or understand that other people see value in something like a Jackson Pollock painting. That's the guy that did, like, all the squiggly lines and just a bunch of bullshit on a page. It's subjective. So I don't think that you're in any position to say what is or is not art. Because I can guarantee you might think that, you know, there's a lot of people that go to church that probably don't think that your background picture is art. They don't think that your profile picture is art. But I bet that you probably do.
True.
And that's just, and you're not wrong, and neither are they. Because art is subjective. And so if people say AI is art, then it is. The issue isn't defining art, it's the theft of scraping thousands of art pieces on the net without consent to then replace the artist. An artist can create without seeing other art, an AI generator cannot. Well, what about an artist that doesn't, that creates after seeing other art?
Yeah. Like what the...
Like, I think that you're kind of talking around my
As
point.
if we have bias.
And so what I'm saying is that...
If we have not a question of...
If an artist is able to use something as an inspiration to create their own thing, that thing that they've created is derivative of the thing that originally exists. And so on a fundamental level, you're saying that AI isn't art because it's derivative. And is this also not art because it is derivative? Do you see kind of my point? Please explain what inspiration is and how it's comparable to an algorithm. I think it depends, right? So I actually don't think that the human brain is that much different from a computer. I really don't. Now, the human brain is infinitely more advanced than a computer, but I think that it's fundamentally the same thing in a lot of ways. So I don't believe in this, like, you know, oh, well, because it comes from your mind that it's so much different than a computer. Most people's minds work in ways that computers work. No? Yes, they do. Computers connect information together, and that's what your mind does as well. Whenever you think about things, you synthesize information together to come to a coherent thought. That's fundamentally what AI does as well. In a very abstract sense. Do you see a point where that's my art? I'm not, the thing is, like, I'm not mad at the people who are disagreeing with me. I'm not mad at them. I'm not, like, I'm not mad at you. I'm not, like, this isn't something that I'm upset about. I'm just having a conversation about it. I don't know why other people are getting so mad, to be honest with you. But there it is. You're basing it on a level that people aren't going to understand. Well, if people don't understand it, that doesn't make me wrong. You're really wrong about the brain being a computer? Okay. I'm sure we're going to get a good comment out of this one. What about it is wrong? As a paramedic, it's not necessarily true if you really think about it. Human computers are binary integrated. They have to think in do's and don'ts. Brains have multiple chemicals and nerves that react in different ways to each other. You're right that the brain isn't the exact same thing as a computer. But I said that your brain functions in a lot of the same ways as a computer does. That's true. It's not the exact same thing. And I think that in 200 years, somebody will be able to make a computer that thinks like a human brain. I think that it's inevitable. To be honest with you, I can't imagine anybody thinking that it won't happen. Then I kind of agree on function, but it's not really the same. Okay. So 3 or 4? Try 3 or 4 where it's bringing bugs. I'm not sure if we are or not. I don't have enough information about it. I just think that it will happen. So yeah. Some people actually stupid, being obtuse, you don't do the right. No, it's okay. The brain's not bizarre. The human brain is inefficient. Yeah, we'll see what happens, right? But anyway, I do think that I don't perceive, I'll go back to what I said, I do not perceive a tremendous moral difference between an artist using another type of art for inspiration or copying or using it to be derivative of. Like, you know, the Dragon Quest Pokemon example, you know, like we have 50 million examples of things that are derivative of each other. And so I don't find a tremendous difference between that ethically or morally than AI. I feel like fundamentally it's the same thing. You're using something else to create something new and saying it's yours. Like, that's fundamentally what you're doing. And so, yeah, I don't see that. AI is learning how to create shapes. I think it's very abstract, and I don't know the nuances of that. For what purpose, though? To sell or for creation? I don't think it really matters. And so anyway, let's go back and read a few more of these, okay? Let's see here. Are some basic galaxies that runs everything that artists make. Companies will use it. Of course it will. So this is the comments of somebody who's a professional graphic designer. The general public doesn't give a fuck, and honestly, the general public doesn't care what looks good or even bad. AI is scary, but it's also a tool. Artists need to figure out how to use it as part of their process. This is like saying that you won't use a paintbrush because a fine tip marker will get you a similar result. Sure, the paintbrush is more efficient. Choose to not use it, I don't care, but you will become a starving artist when people who adapt and use the tools accept. That's what happens. Yeah, that's reality. So somebody else responds and they say a crowbar is a tool. That's no excuse to use it to burgle houses, is it? Same goes with AI. It's a thief's tool. And when it should not be acceptable. If AI piracy is okay, then media piracy also is. Why should I pay for something that's stolen from artists? Circular reason. The guy responds back, a crowbar is a tool that can be used by thieves. AI is a tool that can also be used by thieves. AI can be used in many ways. Most artists who complain about AI art theft are furry artists who can't charge $15 for their commissions anymore. There, I said it. I can't believe how many furries got mad at me today. It's crazy. Nothing's original anymore? Yeah. Let's use these models. This is stressing exposure. Byprog is backpedaling on his statements now. Yeah, of course. It's unironically gun control arguments. The person, not the tool, or the tool or the person. Yeah, exactly. And so there's one comment. You're worth what anyone is willing to give you. Anything else is just fantasy. Hey, little girl with cancer, I just want you to know that you're worthless because you're not making any money. Good thing we have rich people to do the right thing and help her. Oh wait, you're still in a fantasy land where those people are supposed to get their own money to make people happy. That's not life, that's fantasy. So this person is obviously totally fucking right. You know, obviously, like, nobody has a, you know, the moral authority, unless you have the government do it, to just go take somebody else's money and give it to another person. Right? That's just how it is. A wise phrase, you can be an artist without being a furry, but you can't be a furry without being... This is so good. This is so good. How is this so good? Oh my god. Oh, this is amazing. I love this. You can be an artist without being a furry, but you can't be a furry without being an artist. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so fucking funny. Wow. And so anyway, what's the next one here? And this is another response that a person has made. Obviously, you're correct, but your explanation wasn't great. Metaphors with physical items work better. If an AI chef... Oh yeah, I really like this example. I wanted to show it to you guys. If an AI chef existed and could make the best tasting meals instantly and for cheaper, no one would ever pick a human chef. Or they would sometimes because we do cool tricks and stuff like that at certain restaurants. But yeah, in a general sense, this is true. And that's what's so crazy about it. As a chef, agreed. Yeah, exactly. Performance chefs are wild. Yeah, Salt Bay. There you go. Nobody likes that guy. So that's, you know, kill two birds with one stone, right? There you go. And so anyway, it's completely different. Is this a person who is... Okay, this is another ardent disagreeer in chat. Why is it different? What makes it different? Data scientist here, the tech doesn't steal images, it just learns the natural distribution patterns that are representative of your descriptions. The way that you say it makes me think that you're right, and I bet you're probably right, but I don't have enough education in that to be able to say, oh yeah, it's so true. But I think that you're probably right on that. Cool, I can explain. Okay, here we go. Well, the anger directed to you was more out of the out-of-context telephone. People latched onto the wrong idea. Artists don't matter, which you never said. Well, an artist's opinion of their own art is not relevant in the context of going to market with it. It doesn't matter how much an artist thinks their art is worth if people don't want to buy it. It's the same with any other product. Like, it's as I said, it's astonishing to me that, like, I'm getting any pushback for this. It's just the truth, and we all know it every day. VTubers are pretty worked up too. Well, people can get mad about me all they want. I'm totally okay with that.